Hello everyone. Today I'm going to explain how we are going to handle the exception using throw and throws keyword. Java basically provides these two keywords for handling the exception, or throw and throws for throwing the exception, or how you're going to handle. So that actually basically I'm going to explain in this tutorial. In Java, exception can be categorized in two ways, right? One is the checked exception, another is the unchecked exception. So in my last tutorial, I've already created one tutorial regarding the exception handling in details. So over there, I've mentioned already exception hierarchy, what are the different types of exceptions, and few basic things how we are going to handle the exceptions using try and catch block, right? So the basic things, I will share that particular link in the description section of this particular tutorial. Before okay, so now if we talked about the unchecked exceptions, so unchecked exception means that are basically not checked at the compile time. Those are at the means come as a runtime. So we are also not handled unchecked exception because better to maybe those are coming for the maybe code error or programming error. So better to find out this root cause of this one and fix the code. Instead of handling, better to fix the code unchecked exception. So that's why we are not going to handle those unchecked exception. For checked exception, we need to handle those things. Why? Because if we are not going to handle the checked exception, then it will give us the compile time error, like IO exception, interpreter exception, class not found exception, SQL exception. So those are basically checked exception. Now if we talked about the throws keyword, like how we are going to use the throws keyword into our while we are going to handle the exception. So throws keyword, basically there are certain syntax. So if we talked about the syntax for throws keyword, so better let me create one class over here, like demo exception throw demo. Okay, so if we create one class over here, for example get user details. Okay, so if we create this class, so how we are going to define the throws keyword over here, how we are going to means throws the exception using the throws keyword. So the syntax is throws over here. In the method declaration we need to write, and then we need to define the different types of exception, maybe SQL exception, then class not found exception. So in this way basically we can define the exception. For defining the multiple exception, we need to segregate as a comma separator. Means here also we can throw the multiple exception over here, just as a separator it will be a comma. You can also like add some more exception like IO exception. Okay, so these are the like checked exception. Okay, so now if we talked about some real example of how we are going to handle, or maybe we are going to throws the multiple exception using this throws keyword. So if we talked one example about how we are going to handle the database connection. Okay, how we are going to create the connection. So if I copy this particular method, let me copy this one. So here let me remove this throws keyword over here. Okay, so what we did over here, actually basically in the line number, first line, this 16 number line, here we are first of all we are loading the JDBC driver, MySQL JDBC driver. So here basically I'm using the database as MySQL. So for that I'm using this MySQL JDBC driver. So it is, as you can see over here, it is a checked exception. So it's showing the two fixes. Either we can throw this one, or we need to handle with try with catch. Okay, in similar way, for driver manager dot get connection, it is also throwing the checked exception. So we need to handle it into either these two options, like either throws the declaration, or maybe we need to put the try and catch. So here either we can use the try and catch over here, or maybe we need to throws the exception from here into the method declaration. So if we choose this one, throws declaration, it will add this class not found. So that means this particular things, it will throw the class not found exception. That means if this particular driver is not available into our class path, then it will throw the class not found exception. And if it will not able to establish the connection, then it will throw the SQL exception. So for that, as you can see, this is the URL of the for connecting with the database, and this is the username, and this is the password. So if the everything is fine, then it will return this connection, and it will also print the like database connection successfully done. So now we can also remove this exception from over here. Can delete this one also. Now from this method, if we call this get connection, okay, why, okay, create connection. Okay, now as we have called this method from over here, so what it is saying, it will give us the compile time exception, right? Means unhandled exception type SQL exception, because we are not handling, these are the exceptions, these are the throws from this class, from this method, but as we are calling this method from over here, so either we need to throws this declaration or surrounded with try with multi catch. So either if we use this one, so as you can see, it will wrapped with this class not found and SQL exception, and also compile time exception gone. But if we use the throws, so it will add over here. Okay, now if we create one main method from over here, and it will be static, else we are not able to call this method from, else we are not able to call this one. Now if we call this get user details from over here, the similar kind of things it will give us over here, like either we need to handle this one or maybe throws. So main is a entry point, so better to handle the exception over here, and like instead of throwing the exception from over here, right? So better to handle with try with multi catch, and we can put some log over here, like exception occurred while get user details, and we can print the exception over here. So now if we run this one, okay, what it is showing, it will showing the this class not found exception, means this class not found exception it is happening because it is throwing this class not found over here, and this is handled over here, so that's why you're getting the class not found exception over here, right? Because we are handled over here. Now that actually we need to add the library for this MySQL library over here. Let me add this one into our class path, because this library is not added for this Java project. So let me the project let me this add the jar, and this one. Okay, now if we run this one, so the connection will get successfully. Now if we check the log, the connection got successfully done. So in this way, basically we can handle the either throw, and first of all we need to throw this using the throws keyword. We need to return all the connection over in the method declaration, and then we need to handle over here. So this is about this throws keyword. Another things also, you can see we have handling the multiple exception over here using this comma separator. This is also one point. Next we can see like about the throw keyword, right? So like for throw keyword basically is used to explicitly throw a single exception. How? Like suppose after creating connection, if we use this one throw keyword, the syntax for throw keyword is new maybe null pointer exception. Okay, this one. So it will like throwing the null pointer exception. Now if we run this one, so it will give us the null pointer exception. As you can see over here, it is giving the null pointer exception. So this is in this way basically we can only throw a single exception. When any exception is thrown, the flow of the program execution transfer from the try block to the catch block. Means here actually are not providing any catch block, but from where it is calling, so here actually it will go up the in the catch block. This is the thing using the throw keyword. Now suppose the syntax, as I already mentioned, this is the syntax for this one. Now if we, this is the unchecked exception, means runtime exception. Now suppose if we return any checked exception, means IO exception is a checked exception, it is a compile time exception. So as you can see over here, if we throw this one, also we need to throw this one from over here. Now as this particular method also having this added this IO exception, so this method also showing either we need to throw this declaration or add the catch clause to surrounding try, or maybe we need to add the exception into the existing block. So if we choose the last one, like this one, existing clause, so it will add it over here. Okay, now if we see, if we run this one, we can get the exception like IO exception over here. This is the IO exception occurred from this as we are throwing this exception over here, right? Similar kind of thing, actually there are a lot of scenarios happened for throwing these exceptions. So this is the one of the options or maybe one of the things that is happening over here. So this is the overall things like how we are going to handle the exception or maybe throw and throws we can use while we are working on a big project. So this is the things, basic things. With that, there are certain differences like with this throw and throws. As you can see over here, this throw keyword basically used to throw the exception explicitly from this method, right? But throws actually used to signature or maybe declaration. Whenever you are declaring any method, then we need to define the throws with, if it is a multiple, then we can separate with comma separator, right? The throw keyword basically, this throw keyword basically followed by an this instance of the exception to be thrown, right? Here we are creating the new instance of this particular IO exception, but throw actually this is just only the name of the exception to be thrown. So these are the like few differences of this throw and throws. This is the overall things how like we are going to use this throw and throws keyword and for handling the exception into our program. So if you guys have anything, please do let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.